They don't go that deep. The ones who end up mainstream and getting a lot of publicity, you want to know why? Because a lot of people don't want to go deep. They want to keep them mainstream, kind of almost basic, because the people will buy basic. Quite frankly, a lot of subject matters. People have a resistance that comes up that's so high because of their ingrained beliefs. You guys like the depth. You've done enough work. You see the result of it. I just want to acknowledge you for being on a quest to go in the shadows and be willing to step in the shadows and clean it out, because you're a certain kind of a special person who's wanting to actually do that. It's easy to think that when you're not making the money that you want or attracting the number of clients that you want in your business, that it has to be because you have a broken business strategy. And I'm not saying that couldn't be at play here, but what I've noticed in coaching over more than 150,000 people worldwide at this point is that the deeper rooted issue of why you aren't making the money that you want to make has to do with your subconscious. Because here's the truth. Your financial reality is a mirror reflecting back the hidden beliefs, fears, and stories about money that you don't even realize are running the show. And until you bring those shadows into the light, no amount of hustling, mindset work, or manifesting will change the fact that deep down a part of you is still blocking what you say you want. Maybe you grew up hearing that rich people are greedy. So now every time money starts flowing, you self-sabotage subconsciously. Or maybe you've internalized the idea that making money should be hard. So you undercharge, overwork, and never let it be easy. This episode is your wake-up call. We're diving deep into the hidden money wounds that have been controlling your financial success from the shadows. And I'm going to show you exactly how to bring them to the surface, rewire them, and finally break free. Because the money you want isn't just about what you do, it's about what you believe. And today, we're writing the damn story. What up, my people, my posse, my fellow crazies? It's your host, Tiffany Carter, and this is the show that is going to help you grow your business, your bank account, that big, beautiful brain of yours, your mindset, your relationships, your abundance, and everything in between. Now, I got to serve something to you straight before we get started. So many of you are doing this whole posting and hoping thing. You're buying this little thing over there, try to reverse engineer someone else's shiz over here. You're saying, I hope this works. I'm going to try this. Maybe if I try that, oh, this didn't work this way. This whole trial and error thing. Oh, I just need to post more. I just need to send more emails. I just need to be on this platform. And I just need to make, myself stand out or my business stand out. Maybe I even need to do ads. For the love of God, please hear me on this. Stop investing in more information. More information is just going to cause you to be in more information overload and then put you into analysis paralysis and some form of overwhelm where you never really get into implementation. I want to see you investing in skills, in particular, income generating skills. The holes that you have in your business are not solved by you just doing more and you trying different things. The holes in your business are because you actually lack certain skill sets, no fault of your own, but you've never learned them. You've never invested in learning them. You've not invested in the time of getting better and better at these skills. And you might not even realize how much you need these skills and how imperative they are to business if you've not grown and scaled businesses before like I have. There are two main income generating skills that will set you up to where there's no way you won't make money. I don't care if you're an author. I don't care if you sell jewelry. I don't care if you're an affiliate marketer, you're a coach, you're a healer. It does not matter. This works for any professional designation. I've worked with over 200 different industries at this point, and my emotional-based sales techniques being applied absolutely grow businesses substantially. How can't they? Because what I am teaching you is a technique plus 2 additional skills that you apply this technique to, and it allows you to connect more deeply with your ideal client. It has you connecting with them in a different way than what most standard people do out there, which this is what makes you automatically stand out from all of the rest, because your ideal client is going, this business, this brand, this individual actually gives a shit about me, and I can feel it, and I feel seen, heard, and understood. I can't believe I didn't know this person, this company existed before. I'm in, I'm absolutely buying. It's not an option. They're doing it, and they're going to buy from you on repeat. The 2 income generating skills plus my emotional based sales techniques that I teach you inside my signature program, Selling with Soul, which officially enrollment is open to the public. Woohoo! And this is for the class of 2025. So I only offer this program once a year. You'll have to wait till 2026 to be able to get in it. And that would mean you're delaying the results of stacking the cash. And I know you don't want to do that. I teach you how to sell in a way that is going to connect with your ideal client and connect with you emotionally, so you no longer feel gross, sleazy, manipulative, like you're bothering your people in order to showcase and share your offers. Because I know that's how you're feeling now. You're doing it in a way that compels people to buy from you instead of out of the energy of convincing them to buy from you. The second skill is your messaging, how to package, how to name, how to price, how to share, how to showcase your offers. Whether it's a physical product, it's a service, it's a digital product, it's a piece of artwork, okay? It could be apparel as well. How to do that so that your ideal clients are eager and excited to buy from you instead of filled with excuses, or they look at your stuff as it being optional. Oh, that's nice. That would be nice to do someday. Oh, I'll think about it someday when the timing is right. No, we need to have these strangers on the interwebs getting blasted by you in a way that hits them over the head, where it's a wake-up call. They're so thrilled that they found you. It's like the universe connected you, and they exactly want this thing that's right in front of them. It feels like they've manifested it because likely they did, and it's here. And we have packaged it so it's a direct energetic match through messaging and also energy and emotions. And this is why we sell with soul. You have this multi-pronged approach that makes things so simple and so effortless to be able to put your gifts, skills, passions, and talents out there. So you can sign up right now at projectmewithtiffany.com/selling with soul. Swipe up. The link is in the show notes. It's also in the description here on YouTube. Do not wait, because once Selling with Soul class of 2025 is full, it'll say it at the top of the page, and we do not take in any additional students. So get in there. Let's start setting you up to stack the cash so you're not going on this hamster wheel loop where you're driving yourself nuts or you're in so much resistance that things aren't working. Like, it gets to be easy. It gets to be fun when you follow a proven strategy that actually feels good to you. All right, let's dig into those money shadows. In order for us to be able to clean out the clutter that is going around in terms of your money life and cash and abundance and your manifestations, we've got to go and clear out the cobwebs in your closet. We got to go into the attic. We got to go into the basement. And you might have some resistance around going in these places because you know there is stuff to clean out. And there's part of you that's been avoiding it because it feels heavy. It feels like maybe even boring, uncomfortable. You don't really want to do it. It can feel like tedious. But the cost of you continuing to not do it is only going to cause you more anxiety. It's going to cause you more financial stress. It is actually costing you a shit ton of money by the minute, because if we don't deal with our money wounds that are hiding in the shadows, it makes it impossible for you to call in the level of money and success that I know that you want. And you might have some, but my my guess is you feel like you're working so hard for it, or it comes and goes. It's like a feast or famine situation. So let's talk about shadow work first. Like, what the hell is that? And this comes from Carl Jung's shadow work, if you've heard of that famous psychologist. And it's the part of ourself that holds suppressed emotions and fears and beliefs that we don't consciously acknowledge. So it's similar to trauma, right? Where our issues are stored in our tissues. There's stored trauma, literally, this is proven, in our cells. And then there's like the conscious trauma, the memories that like you are aware of, the things that were said to you, the things that were done to you that you know. But then there's a whole nother level and a layer that so many people avoid, both in trauma and, money wounding stuff. And that is going to dig at the subconscious stuff that needs to come up. Okay. So these are deep seated, often inherited beliefs about wealth that shape our financial behavior without us even realizing it. So studies show that 95% of our thoughts, emotions, and decisions are driven by the subconscious mind. This comes from Harvard Business Review. So here's another interesting thing I want to point out to you. Cognitive bias research confirms that people often unconsciously resist information that contradicts their deeply ingrained beliefs. Now, let me give you an example about that. Okay, so you can be sitting there, and I've worked with people who, are highly, highly educated. It can be someone who spent 20 years in corporate climbing the ladder. It can be a physician. Okay, someone could have grown up wealthy, someone could have grown up poor, and you are manifesting money. You're saying all the affirmations, you're taking all the actions, you're doing all the things you actually know you're pretty good at what you do. And you have confidence around people should be hiring you. I do know what I'm doing. I just don't have the best confidence around marketing or sharing my stuff, right? But that you do know the stuff that you know, and your heart. Yet you're not getting the volume of clients. You're not getting the volume of patients as you're seeing other people or competitors of yours in the industry. And you're like, why does this feel so hard to me? Why is this taking so much longer? And it's because even though you have proof in front of you that you can do it, you've got the sauce, you're worthy of it, it's here for you, it's possible for you, you see it in other people, therefore it exists for yourself, and you really get that intellectually. But deep down, you've got some shit going on well, I'm afraid that bad things are going to happen if I'm really seen at a bigger level, if I'm more visible, if I'm more of a public figure. I have a lot of fear around, I make a lot of money. Everyone in my family, people I know are going to come out of the woodwork. Maybe I'll get sued. There's going to be a lot of pressure and responsibility that's required. And these little tapes are running deep down. And maybe once in a while, they pop up, and then really quickly you move your brain to focus on something else, or you over intellectualize it. Oh, that's just my fear talking, so let's squash that. That's my fear talking. I know that's not true. Let's go back to putting myself in the abundance zone. And you innocently think that's doing the right thing. But what happens is when we ignore the subconscious thoughts and beliefs that keep rising to the surface, anything that rises to the surface regularly, that is something that you do need to listen to and you do need to address. If you have an ant problem, for example, in your basement, and the fact that you don't go in your basement much, you rarely use it, that doesn't mean the ant problem isn't there. It's still there. You're just not being totally impacted by it that you can tell. You're just not seeing it. A better example, honestly, since we're talking about insects, I don't know how I get on these analogies, would be termites. You don't realize you have termite damage unless it is so far gone. And I'm talking years, even decades gone, where the walls start to cave in and deteriorate. It's normally people only realize they have termite damage when they go to do like new construction or remodeling on their house. That doesn't mean they're not there. That doesn't mean that the foundation and the structure of your home isn't being literally destroyed and costing you a fortune. You just don't know it exists. And that's what's happening with this stuff, is that it is actually costing you every single day because you're even repelling things energetically and subtly based on what is going on in these deeper wounds. So common hidden money shadows and how they end up manifesting in business. Okay. So each of these beliefs can create a specific self-sabotaging pattern for entrepreneurs. All right. So here's an example. Like a shadow belief would be like, rich people are greedy, they're gross, they're not good people, they're money hungry. The impact, it leads to guilt around earning. So self-sabotaging at higher income levels, underpricing offers, over giving to the point of burnout and exhaustion, or to where you have so much you're giving out in exchange for the money. And I have a lot of private clients that come to me, and on the surface, they are grossing, meaning before taxes and like credit card transaction fees and expenses, all this money, but they have no profits. Their profits are literally at zero, or they're even in the red because they're focused on the revenue, but they've got nothing to show for it. So here's like a psychological link to it. Research on money scripts found that people who associate wealth with greed tend to reject financial success unconsciously. Okay. And this is from a 2012 research paper at Clatts and Brits. Okay. I spent a lot of time researching this stuff. So, you know, it's not just like Tiff talking from her ass, from my ass. And just from my clinical experience, not that I'm a clinician, but in terms of the coaching and consulting work that I've been doing for so long, like there's that data, but there's also wider studies that are done. And I want to share those to wake you up to the importance of doing this. A Princeton University study found that people who view wealth negatively often experience financial stress and avoid profitable opportunities. Norton and O'Reilly, 2011. Wild, right? Here's another shadow belief. Making money is hard. You know, work hard, play hard. You know, the early bird gets the worm. The one that I was raised with, you've got to give an arm and a leg in order to be successful in a man's world. The impact causes overworking, burnout, and resistance to scalable income models, even not believing it's real. And I'm going to call myself out here on this one because I do believe that there's quite a few of you who are wired similarly to me because like attracts like. Even when I first came into like the online business space, because my other business is more of a traditional business model where I work with business to business type clients. I remember watching some of the OG people in the space making money with courses online. They were doing ads, and I remember rejecting it, going, it sounds a little sketch. It sounds a little too good to be true. You're telling me my ass can work from my pajamas, as I am showing my pajama bottoms that are super fun on ProjectME TV on YouTube, which you need to go subscribe to. You can work from your pajamas. You can work from anywhere in the world. You can set it up so you have multiple income streams and you're making money all throughout the day while you're actively working, while you're doing other things. And you get to have such little overhead because of all these like online streams. Like it's not like you have to have a brick and mortar business in order to do this. That's sus. I didn't want to believe it to be true because it contradicted the shadow belief that I was taught growing up, that money has to be hard to make. It's highly sacrificing. It doesn't get to be that easy. And in fact, if it's easy, it's probably a scam. Here's the psychological link, the effort justification bias. This one really shooketh me. This explains why people believe success must come from struggle to feel earned. Entrepreneurs with this belief often undercharge or overdeliver to feel worthy of receiving money, or cause a lot of like chaos. Like, oh, I have to do all of this, and there's all this pressure, and there's all these moving parts, and I have to do all of these things in order to make all this money, and I have to do launches, and content feels so hard and I have to do this and this feels so hard and hiring people feels hard and there's so you're making it hard subconsciously because you believe deep down that if it's not hard, you're not going to have the success. You're not going to have the traction. You're not going to get the cash. So of course you're going to make it hard because you want the success. Do you see how mind fuckery this is and how costly? I mean, and truly deadly. You know, I haven't shared the story in quite a long time on here, but before I started Project Me with Tiffany Carter, the podcast and business coaching brand, you know, I went to off myself. And it was about 9 years ago now. I had about a couple mil in the bank. I had a luxury car, luxury townhouse. I had my own business that was like a very kind of like sexy business. I still have the business. It's an agency doing digital marketing and branding in the pharmaceutical, medical, health supplement world. Private jets I was on, 5-star luxury vacations. My body was snatched and I was emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually bankrupt. And I didn't see a way off the hamster wheel because I had those shadow beliefs around money and success were so intertwined in a spider web that I didn't know existed deep in the corners of myself. That even though I had been a student of manifestation and law of attraction for many years, I had a gazillion years of therapy. None of that mattered because none of that went deep enough into the shadow work of what was really going on. Like a lot of people, if you haven't noticed, don't go real deep on podcasts, in books. You go see people publicly speaking, and I'm not trying to knock people. They don't go that deep. The ones who end up mainstream and getting a lot of publicity. You want to know why? Because a lot of people don't want to go deep. And the publishing houses, the people who manage these people, they want to keep them mainstream, kind of almost basic, because the people will buy basic. But when you start going real deep, quite frankly, a lot of subject matters. Whether it's food, whether it's fitness, whether it's trauma healing, ADHD, any of it, relationships, you go beneath the surface real deep, people have a resistance that comes up that's so high because of their ingrained beliefs. They don't even realize how high it is that they end up not buying the book. They end up not purchasing the ticket to go to the speaking event. And they end up not listening to the podcast. It ends up being like you're more so kind of niche if you go deep. So just so you know, all y'all crazies who love this show in all these countries all over the world that have made us top 5 in 57 countries and growing, you guys like the depth. You've done enough work. You see the result of it. And in fact, anything surface feels boring to you. It feels basic to you. It feels like almost like your time has been wasted. You're my people. And I used to get infuriated by this, like jealous and also like angry. Like, why is this person have all this notoriety and is getting hired to speak and all these things and getting book deals and all this shit? And like, I don't know them. They could be a nice person, but this stuff is so fluffy and so basic. Well, that's also what sells. So I just want to acknowledge you for being on a quest to go in the shadows and be willing to step in the shadows and clean it out, because you're a certain kind of a special person who's wanting to actually do that. So here's another shadow belief. I'm not good with money, right? I'm not good with money. People in my family aren't good with money. I'm not good at math. It's just not my thing. The impact, it leads to avoiding financial decisions, ignoring bank statements, resisting investments, overthinking or going into a state of confusion. Oh, I don't know if I should do selling with soul. Is that the right thing for me? Am I going to be able to do it? Like this whole confusion thing, and which is a form of fear in disguise, by the way. And the overthinking, which is another form of fear in disguise. Being out of your body around stuff and feeling like you're floating around all this stuff and like you don't know enough. Well, then you actually never set yourself up to learn the income generating skills and the things to change your financial life, because you're already stating, even if it's subconscious, I'm not good with money. I'm not good at these things. I'm not very smart, or whatever you're telling yourself. So then you never buy the thing, hire the person, learn the thing because you don't think you can. So here's a psychological link. Learned helplessness shows that past financial failures condition people to believe they're powerless over money. And learned helplessness is victimy, right? I made this bad decision. I bought these programs before and they didn't really work out, or the people like overpromised and underdelivered, or I didn't follow through. So like, why would I buy something again? And I clearly don't know, like, I'm not a good decision maker. I understand because I lost almost everything I had in 3 months by trusting and hiring a financial advisor, all because of this thing. And it was about $1 million when I was 30 years old. It was gone in 3 months and there's nothing I could do. I signed a giant thick stack of papers, and I'll be honest, I didn't read any of it. It even goes that far. I don't even know what I'm reading. I just trusted the person who referred me and went on blind faith, because why would I even read that contract? I don't even know what I'm reading. And then I was too embarrassed to like have someone else read it for me. And it all gets mishmashy in there. A 2021 MIT study found that financial anxiety lowers cognitive function, making decision making even harder. Hence my point about confusion and the analysis paralysis. So you don't clean this stuff out, you get stuck in this. So should I do this? I don't know if I should do this. Is this a good idea? And I know that there's some of you who are in this spot about selling with soul, even though there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of students who've taken it with remarkable results from all different industries. And I am telling you exactly the income generating skills that you're learning in there. Like, you get a certificate of completion at the end where you can actually put this on like your LinkedIn, for example. Like, this is a value add for your own business, for things you're selling, or any other business, because the cost of not learning how to package, share, showcase, sell your offers, your services, your products is your entire business. I don't care what business you have. If you do not know how to do it in a way that feels good to you and your ideal client, you're not going to do it. No one's going to know you exist, or not enough people will know you exist, or they'll just be content vampires and they'll be vibing your content, giving you hearts, saying you're so inspiring, but then no one is buying. And then at a certain point, you're spending all of this time putting content out there, emails out there, offers out there, and no one's buying. You're going to give up. And now it's cost you everything that you want. And then you're going to start telling yourself some other confirmation bias story from your money shadows, where you're going to start going, see, I'm not good with money. Who was I to think I should have a business? See, I don't know what I'm doing. Yep. Having this kind of money and having this kind of success, I knew it'd be so sacrificing and hard and miserable, and it is, and it's too much for me. And now you've created a self-fulfilling prophecy without even fucking realizing it. This is why we're doing this episode. So 3 practical shadow work exercises that we're going to do to reprogram these limiting beliefs that you have that are costing you so much. All right. So preferably pen and paper out, but luckily for you, you can rewind and listen to this when you do have it in front of you. Number 1, I want you to identify your money shadow. You don't need to identify all of them. Okay. And you can have the universe, you can have God, you can have your angels help you identify them. Like, you might have such a block to even identifying them. It might take you a few days. And I will do this where if I'm in so much confusion and it's swirling around and I'm in basically a form of, and I don't mean to be dramatic here, but a form of like a trauma response, like a fight, flight, or freeze response around my own shadows, I'll say, universe, God, please guide me to pointing out with love and gentleness the shadow around blank, right? Around money, around relationships, around whatever. In this case, around money, so that I can have it exposed to the light, so I can look at it and sort through it and heal it. please make this really clear to me so I don't miss it. And let go of the timing, and it will be presented to you when you least expect it. And it might not be cute, okay, when it happens, but it's doing it for you to get your attention so that you know, oh shit, this is it. I'm doing my fucking thing. It's me doing my thing again. Okay. So journal prompt. And you can also, when I say journaling, some of you are verbal processors like me. You can also do a a voice note to yourself, and that might be more helpful to you. I'm constantly talking to myself over here and everywhere. Like I even answer myself, right? We need to be our own best friend and our own best advocate. That's what we do. What did I hear about money growing up? What beliefs feel true, but may be holding me back? Notice how that second part, what I said, what beliefs feel true? Because we're making it clear to our conscious and subconscious. That doesn't mean they're fucking fact. They just feel true, but they may be holding me back. Notice discomfort. Where do you feel triggered in money conversations? So this is like an observation as you go throughout the week, even hearing me talk about selling with soul and like your asses need to get in here. Like straight up, if you do not find a way to make this work, to learn these skills, and you're not bringing in the coin and the clients that you want for your business, I'm telling you, like it'd be a disservice to yourself, because I know what is in there and the proof is already in the receipts of all the students who have taken it. These are students who literally have taken Selling with Soul or are brand new and already in. And when you sign up, you get instant access to the first 2 modules, and it's live group coaching every week for 5 weeks. We start the last week of March. All of that is on the page with all the information. Sabrina says, Selling with Soul was Tiff helping me find my path that works. It was a slingshot into the future I couldn't figure out myself. Worth the investment, exclamation point. Gina K. Downs, I'm so happy I made the investment in myself and my business by joining Selling with Soul. Then we've got Christy Heyer. Selling with Soul also helped me discover money wounds that I didn't know I had. Amanda Marie, it's officially day 1 and I cannot wait for today's live Zoom call with Tiffany and the team. Ready to soak it all in, connect with everyone, and see what magic unfolds. Also, I couldn't help myself and I started watching the bonus content and bonus video number 2. Woo, absolute gold. If this is just the extra stuff, I can't wait to see what's coming next. Excited for what's ahead and looking forward to meeting more of the group soon. See you on the call. There are literally hundreds and hundreds like that. And I have on my Instagram account under the highlights, there's one for Selling with Soul. I obviously have ones like that are titled receipts and client results, but there's even more there. So just saying, go to projectmewithtiffany.com/selling with soul. All the information is there. I've made insane, generous payment plans so that now you pay in full, you get some really cool shit from me. Okay. So like, I highly recommend doing that. But I also wanted to make sure that I made it available for everyone. And there's payment plan options that are right on there for you as well. You can swipe up, go to the show notes. You can go to the link in the bio on ProjectME TV, and it's also in the description. Okay, step 2 of what we're doing to reprogram these shadows. Reframe the narrative. Example, instead of rich people are greedy, rich people are, money hungry, shift it to money amplifies who I already am. Find a shift that is also true, that you can get behind. Not some pie in the sky bullshit, but that's true. I had the rich people, like there's a lot of evil with success was more of mine. If you're not familiar with my story, I think it's, what do I have? The first 5 chapters of my book are out on the podcast, From Abuse to Abundance, and you'll get a deeper understanding of my wild story. But I had so much evil going on in my house, but there was also a lot of wealth and success. So I had I saw a lot of the evil side of successful people. I'm in LA too. Like I do see a lot of that, like in the Hollywood shit, right? And there's this stuff going on in every industry, but I had to work on this one where it's like, but I am a good person. I'm not a perfect person, right? But I am a good person, and money just amplifies who we already are. It really doesn't change people. Like I'm not saying you can't have some shifts and morph around having money. I mean, listen, there's things that money have bought me. If they have bought me my weave that is on my head right now, okay? It has bought me homes. It has bought me into really cool hotels, but it's not changed my soul and who I truly am. Based on neuroplasticity research, thought patterns can be rewired through conscious repetition. Fact, okay? I can't pronounce the name of this study, but it's DOIDGE 2007. Okay. And the conscious repetition of every time then you start having this thought, or you're scrolling social media and you're going, well, even if it's about me, okay, listen, I understand. I can trigger you because I have a lot of what you want, right? And I get triggered by people too. There's someone in particular right now where I'm getting curious and I'm using it because it's a shadow I need to work on. So just also notice who you get triggered by and what you get triggered by. Conversations, people, posts, whatever. And it's like, what is it about this person? It's people where it looks like everything they touch turns to gold. They've got the great relationship, the body, the career, the this. It's like, Jesus, like, what did they hit the fucking lucky stick? And it like, I have energy around that. And I have a hard time believing that it gets to be like that. Well, that goes back to that shadow of success has to be hard. Success has to be sacrificing. Success has to be miserable. And that's why it triggers me when I see someone where it's happening with ease, right? And nothing is completely easy, because that would be like saying we have all light and no shadow. That's not possible. But I want you to take a look at that. So when I see this person, instead of me actually muting them right now, which is typically my move, I don't tend to unfollow unless I need to make a statement subtly, publicly, that I cannot vouch for this person. But instead of me muting them, I want it to come up so I can do this, where I can say, I get to have this too. This is available for me. This is equally available for me. It actually does get to be simple. I can't say it gets to be easy. That doesn't work with my nervous system, but I can use the word simple and just keep practicing that conscious repetition because it's proven to work. Step 3, take action that contradicts the money shadow. A lot of people blow off step 3. You blow off step 3 or any of these steps, this shit won't work. I've tried, okay? Like I'm always looking for shortcuts. And when I find a shortcut, okay, you always want to hire the world's laziest business coach. And when I find a shortcut, we're going to use it because a shortcut saves time and makes you more money and gets you there faster. And I'm all about that. So I'll try stuff to kind of like take the path of least resistance, see if it works. Most of the time it does not. Sometimes there is an angle, but I'll always share that angle with you. So take this action that contradicts the money shadow. If you undercharge, raise your rates and sit with the discomfort. And I'm not saying raise them like 5 times the amount. Even a few $100s to start is fine. Another thing I've had clients do and people in Selling with Soul do is, okay, I want you to pull back with how much you're doing and how much you're giving, even by 20%, and sit with it. And it feels really uncomfortable. And it's like, okay, if it's too much, then we're going to do like 15%, or maybe you need to start with 10. If you avoid looking at money, set a weekly money date to review finances, or set it up so you have to, like set an appointment with your accountant, with your CPA, right? Make sure that you like have something in writing where you have to look at the stuff. Like I have regular meetings that are in the books with my CPA firm, and I have to look at all of the things. And I don't avoid looking at stuff. I'm the opposite. Like I look at stuff to remind myself how abundant I am, but I can be weird about looking at stuff when I know I'm not as cash flush as I regularly am, or if I'm just in like a wonky way and my shadows are like really coming up, but I put myself and set myself up so I can't can't ignore it because I have these meetings. All right. If you are someone who goes into, this is going to be so hard, I'm so confused, I don't even know where to start, I'm not sure what's wrong with my business, it should be making more money, take an action instead of putting yourself in a spot thinking and trying to figure out and like tricking yourself into think that's taking any action. It's not. You're just stuck in your head. You're not doing any income generating moves at all. Set yourself up, get into selling with soul. And now you've put money on the line. You've committed to something. You've committed to me for 5 weeks. So you have the accountability to the group, the accountability to yourself, the accountability because you put money on the line. Don't think you doing something free or cheap is going to cut it. It's not. And it has to be with someone who you know will hold you accountable. And it being for a finite period of time. That's why I have this program at 5 weeks. I typically don't do long programs. I find it to be better for people to be completely immersed, blinders on for a short period of time, gets people significantly higher results, make more money, get more clients, follow through to completion versus like a whole 6-month program, you know, where it's months and months and months. It might sound to somebody like, oh, I get that many months with Tiffany. That's great. Well, why do we need to stretch out you getting the results? Let's get you in action and get you there faster. And you know where to go. You can swipe up. It's in the show notes to access Selling with Soul. On the top of the page, it will say sold out if we're full, and then it's full and gone until 2026. Research from Stanford University shows that exposure therapy, which you might have heard around like fears, like fear of flying, fear of spiders, helps rewire automatic negative responses. That's why I'm saying like even 10% charge more, right? Even if you are afraid of being seen on a bigger level and you're resisting putting out videos, but you know you have to put out videos for your business, like you'd be crazy not to. Okay, I'm not going to have you rip off the Band-Aid because you're going to go in a fight, flight, or freeze around it. There's always a workaround. There's always a fucking way. That's the motto here at ProjectME. So maybe we have you do B-roll. It's a video of yourself, but you're not talking. Maybe you're reading a passage out of a book. And you're not even looking at the camera. There's so many different ways to where you're being exposed, but we're not blasting you out there. You know, someone who has a fear of flying, you're not going to put them on a fucking plane from Los Angeles to Germany. That would be crazy, right? You might have them do, if they're doing a flight, you would find the shortest flight possible, like maybe like a Los Angeles to Las Vegas, something like that. Right. And maybe even less than that. It might have to be that we're like just going and sitting on the plane and that you know that as long as the gate isn't closed, you can get off the flight. Like some people even have to do that. So how bringing money shadows into awareness creates financial breakthroughs where the flood of abundance comes in and it will shooketh you. You'll be like, holy shit, why didn't I go into the shadows of this money stuff before? Well, one, not like I said earlier, not many people talk about this stuff. This shit is deep, okay? And so try to get you guys to go deep by me pointing out the cost of you not going deep. Because I'm aware your brain is churning. It can even make you a little bit tired. You might be yawning right now. You might be like, holy shit, this is a lot to unpack. And you might even want to start dissociating by scrolling, by doing heavy multitasking. You might have even tuned in and out of listening to my voice during this. Those are all signs that you have to do the fucking shadow work. The I am identity shift. People who consciously rewrite their money beliefs start to see different financial outcomes. Okay. So rewriting the beliefs for yourself. I am now bringing my money wounds into the light so they no longer consume me. I am becoming an abundant being. You know, like you're stating an I am, like the story's different now. I am working on my jealousy for people seeming to to have great success so easily, I am becoming the person who's the lucky one. I am becoming the person who has success and wealth so easily. Case study. A 2019 study published in the Journal of Financial Therapy found that entrepreneurs who actively worked on shifting their subconscious money narratives increased their income on average by 32% a year. Thank you. This is by Klontz, Klontz, in 2019. If that isn't enough, and that's on average 32%. I've worked with people, had people in Selling with Soul, private clients of mine, people in my Posse membership, where it's been like 400%. I myself, 800% increase. I've had at different times by working on these shadows. So final thoughts here. Your money struggles are not just about strategy, you being lazy, you having ADHD, you being confused, the economy, the algorithm, blah, 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 blah. They're about the stories you've been taught and the stories that you've created as a result of your environment growing up or just being around certain people or in certain industries. And the good news is you get to rewrite them following those 3 steps that I gave you today. And the beliefs that you hold in your subconscious, they're shaping your income, your business decisions, and your financial futures. We just want to make sure that we are shifting those beliefs so they're a match for what it is you want, not for more of the same. And the first step to changing your financial reality, it's not another business tactic. It isn't. It's learning income generating skills while uncovering and rewriting the beliefs that you didn't even realize were holding you back. This is why in every single program I have on any level of working with me, I always include this deep money stuff because you can't out strategize a broken or wounded mindset. I could literally customize and hand you a multi-million-dollar business strategy where I tell you exactly what you need to focus on every day, like what I do with my private clients. I only take 4 at a time. Okay. It's by application only. And do all of that. And your own shadow shit will make it so you procrastinate. You don't follow through on it. You blow things off. You do it sometimes, but not all the time. You half-ass it. I've seen it all. And it's people who are of all levels of intelligence, people who are even public figures. It's wild what happens because your brain will sabotage the strategy because now you have it in front of you because you told yourself, I need the strategy, I need the exact things. And I'm not saying those aren't important. You need both. So you hire someone like me, you get the holy grail and all the things, but you actually have to follow through and implement those things and take action. But you'll end up with a roadblock and obstacles and things in your place where it blocks you from taking action because you have so much gunk living in the shadows. And that's when I always say to my private clients, and now it is time to do this work. Now we see all of your shit coming to the surface because we're in action. And now this is when we're digging on this. We can still take income generating actions and focus on bringing fresh cash in your business because you need fresh cash coming in your business in order to have a business, or you have a jobby, a time and energy sucking hobby. We can still do that, but we're going to have to pull back a little bit on that and focus on this shadow stuff and this money wound stuff so you don't keep sabotaging it. And that's the straight up reality. Stop chasing strategy only when you need both. Both truly, I wouldn't even say equally. The strategy part, I might say it's 30%. As long as it's like a proven strategy, right? And it's one that like feels good to your nervous system. And 70% is the subconscious and the conscious mind. It's wild. And if someone had told me this when I first started business, I would have laughed. Even 5 years into business, I would have laughed. But by the 6th year, I wouldn't have laughed because I'd already paid 5 years of the price of only focusing on strategy. And it damn near killed me. And I almost had to go back to corporate. Like you wouldn't be listening to the show here today. I would have gone back into the corporate machine. So we have another episode that's coming this week that pairs with this. So I'm excited for you to hear that one. If you love this episode, please take a moment to take a screenshot, share it in social media. and tag me at Project Me with Tiffany on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all the things. Project Me TV on YouTube. Go and look at the page for Selling with Soul, for the love of God. ProjectMeWithTiffany.com/selling with soul, and allow yourself to be guided out of the shadows and into the light where the abundance has been sitting there waiting for you all along. Wishing you great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you.